Morning, everybody. So it's really a pleasure to be here. Yesterday was a wonderful day, and so I'd like to start us all out this morning talking about our first application of digital technology, and that's with the aging population. So we have an amazing cast of characters, so I'm going to keep my comments extremely brief. You're going to see a lot more data about how we're all getting older, which we all know from Sarah Locke in just a few minutes. But our population is aging, not just here in the United States, but around the world. And what used to be an aging pyramid with a very small percentage of people in the United States over the age of 85 has now become the aging rectangle on its end. And those individuals 85 and above is the fastest growing demographic in the United States. The first baby boomer turned 65 in 2011. And one of the challenges, of course, with the aging of the population is that age is the #1 risk factor for Alzheimer's disease. And there are a lot of epidemics in society today, and I'd like you all to understand from the, perspective of a geriatric psychiatrist, Alzheimer's disease is probably one of the greatest epidemics that our society faces over the next 30 years. Laura mentioned that part of my job over the last couple of years has been working in the Center for Population Health at Partners, where we're trying to integrate psychiatric services into primary care. A large proportion of those people are older adults as well, facing the challenges of aging. And I just wanted to remind folks about the triple aim of healthcare, which I think is relevant to the topic of digital solutions in health, especially in the aging population. So this triple aim, which Don Berwick coined the phrase about a decade ago, talks about the improvement of the experience of care for the individual patient while also trying to improve the health of a population, and doing all of that while trying to reduce the overall per capita healthcare costs. Not an easy triple aim to achieve. I will mention that some have also talked about a quadruple aim, and the fourth aim being the quality of life for the caregiver themselves, which I do think is really important for us to think about. But I mentioned this is more of a lead-in as well to the next session you're going to hear about with some of the real reformers in our system here in the state of Massachusetts. So a couple figures about Alzheimer's disease. You're going to hear about dementia from Jason Hassenstab shortly. You're going to hear about healthy brain aging from Sarah. But in this country currently, there are about 5.4 million Americans with Alzheimer's disease, and the risk doubles every 5 years after the age of 65. So it's about 5% of the population, 65 and above, and that number goes to nearly 50% over the age of 85. 1 in 3 people, in some studies up to 1 in 2 people, have AD over the age of 85. It's the 6th leading cause of death in this country, and it kills more people than breast and prostate cancer combined. And it's actually the only cause of death in the top 10 causes where the prevalence rates are going up and not down. Here's another important point, and possibly another opportunity for digital solutions. More than 15 million Americans are providing 18 billion hours of unpaid care per year, disproportionately women. And in 2017, the cost of Alzheimer's disease to our country is nearly $260 billion. This number is expected to go up to $1 trillion over the next 25 years. And that's absent a disease-modifying therapy or any advances in prevention. The other major area in geriatric mental health that I do want to alert everyone to, and will be addressed as well this morning, is that mental health conditions are associated with premature death from all causes. So in our field, we see a lot of people who have been aging with severe mental illness, people with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and depression who have had these illnesses for decades, and we know they die younger. And in some studies, the mortality gap can be as high as 3 decades, where people with schizophrenia are dying 20 to 30 years earlier than their cohorts, their colleagues, their peers who do not have severe mental illness. And there are clinical and demographic, social, and health system factors associated with this, but the relative risk for all-cause mortality is often due to preventative healthcare problems that are not addressed in a timely or efficient manner. So in today's session, you're going to hear from 4 wonderful speakers talking about some of the opportunities in utilizing technology solutions for diagnostic assessment as well as treatment in older adults. First, we're going to hear from Dr. Vahia, who's going to talk about improving clinical care at the individual patient level. Second, from Jason Hassenstab, who's going to talk about cognitive assessment tools for dementia prevention trials, looking at the impact of these tools on a population level. Then we're going to hear from Sarah Locke from AARP, talking about enhancing healthy brain aging through the Global Council on Brain Health, which looks at the impact of policy changes on healthy brain aging. And then finally, from San Diego, using technology, we're going to hear from Dr. Dilip Jesti, who's going to talk about some of his interests recently on successful aging, improving independence with advancing years, looking at the impact on society at large. So with that introduction, I'm going to now turn the mic over to my colleague and friend, Dr. Ipsit Vahia. Dr. Vahia is the medical director of the Institute for Technology and Psychiatry at McLean Hospital. He's the medical director of our geriatric psychiatry outpatients at McLean and a member of the faculty at Harvard Medical School. He is also on the board of directors at the AAGP and serves on the Council of Geriatric Psychiatry at the APA. And I was lucky enough to convince Dr. Jesti to move to Boston in February, a year and a half ago, leaving his view of the Pacific Ocean in San Diego for the ice and snow of New England. And we're so happy he's here. So Dr. Jesti. Sorry. Dr. Jesti's mentee.